Welcome back, guys, to Music Maverick channel. Maverick here with episode 36 of March Comes In Like a Lion. So, last episode, we finally got some closure to the entire Hina situation. Or at least, partial closure anyways. Like I said, in the last episode, I still feel like there are some unresolved things within the entire scene, particularly in case of the bully. I still feel like we haven't heard her side of the story yet. Well, I can't really say we haven't heard her side of the story yet, but I mean, we haven't actually seen her situation get resolved, right? She is, after all, also a lost child, I guess you could say. And from the perspective of this anime, I do kind of feel like they are going to be doing something for her as well. But we shall see, right? At the very least, Hina is in good spirits, Rei is in good spirits, and hopefully we can move on to the next big drama within the characters' lives here. So, with that in mind, let's just jump right into the episode. Alright, we start with the opening this time. I just quickly skipped for it, and now let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Flowing away. Oh, we're back to Shogi. Actually, I don't know how many of you guys still, Newcomer King. Look at that poster, oh my god. The old versus the new. Because they're young and energetic. Speaking of which, I don't know how many of you guys still follow Shogi, even after this series. Like, it's not really that big of a thing when you consider it. It's not like the central focus of this series. But anyways, what I was going to talk about was, recently, I think they had, Shogi has been making some headlines, because they have a really young challenger, as well. I believe, I forgot his name, but I think a Nanadan, a 7th Dan, sort of prodigy, is going to be taking on one of the titled matches. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I find it kind of funny because I've talked before about the I'm not as familiar with Shogi, but I do kind of follow on and off the chess scene. And if any of you guys are actually interested in the chess scene nowadays, hold that thought. What the? Come on, they're nowhere like this. Well, I guess this one is kind of true. The sickly. Oh wait, that's what happened? I would have thought these two, when they were playing Shogi, they'd be much more into it. Oh, so they actually can talk to each other. They once again, from chess, you're not allowed to talk to your opponents during the match. Perfect for the current corona situation. Well, you just gotta dethrone the old man. Kisho. The saint of shogi. All right. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. In the current chess world, there is also this sort of kind of new excitement as well. Because recently, a lot of Twitch streamers have been joining the chess scene, picking up chess and whatnot, and some pretty high-profile, chess professionals, like some of the best in the world, are actually coaching them, giving them lessons, commentating on it. So it's sort of like boomed into his big revive. I wouldn't really say revival of chess, but it's getting a lot of newcomers interested. It's getting Twitch chat interested in this Twitch community, which has its upsides and its downsides, I will say. But anyways, the whole tangent was just to say that people, sometimes you gotta see new faces. It might not be the most exhilarating of chess, not the most high quality of chess or shogi that's being shown, but people want to see personalities in whatever game it is, even when it's intellectual, such as shogi or chess. 全身協力 School uniform was okay. So they're trying to sell on the high schooler chess professional kind of thing. I mean, sorry, shogi professional kind of thing. That's why they're asking him to dress in his high school clothes. Yay. You're still going up on that? Results are important, but it's not results that teach people. That's a pretty quotable line right there. Huh. All traveling together? You know, this series has been quite realistic in the way that they've portrayed characters so far. So I gotta ask, why is Souya's hair white? He's like the least realistic character of right now. White Storm. Shiroira, Shira, Arashi. I think this is actually a place with onsens as well. The 5-star treatment. Ooh. Gosh, Link. I mean, I've stayed at places like this before. They're actually surprisingly not that expensive to stay in. Ah, see? This is an onsen place. He's like, this is my new moneymaker! I gotta treat him well. Well, I guess he is just a high schooler. If this is one of those really fancy places, then the bath he's in right now is actually onsen water as well. They're really treating this like a Meijin battle or something. A titled battle. Titled match, I should say. It's yeah, this is like... oh my god. No. Just give him a little bit of taste of what the champions need to go through. Well, not just alone. Him and like 5, 6, 7 others. No, but serious. Why is his hair gray, white? He's like a yosei. A spirit or a fairy. I guess that's pretty apt for this series. Well, this intangible idea. Well, he has a lot of experience. So showing his human side. Gotcha. Oh. I can't. I can't believe it actually didn't break the glasses. Ooh, has he lost it? He's like a baby. I mean, I'm sure you guys can whip up a suit and a shirt somewhere, right? Kimono. Alright. I feel like this definitely suits him more. Uh, he seems like one of those old school sorcerers or something. Like if this is a series with the supernatural, I'd be expecting him to like be shouting out spells and uh, using hexes and jinx and whatnot. So a literal storm is also coming as well. Alright. So, I guess this is going to be the next arc we're heading into. I'll see you guys after this. Well, alrighty, that was episode 36 of March Comes In Like a Lion. This big showdown between Souya and Rei here, right? I definitely like how they are starting to go back more in sort of constructing, and deconstructing this sort of mythical figure, right? This Souya dude, who's, like I said, sort of like a spirit in a way. And I guess you could also say he doesn't seem quite human, right? He's this prodigy, he's insanely talented, but you know, in a lot of aspects, he seems like a child still, right? He has to be nurtured and stuff. I guess it's really trying to drive home a point about these child prodigies, especially since Rei is one as well, sort of walking on the same path here, right? Now, with that being said, I don't really think there's too much to comment on at this point in terms of the story, so I would like to actually make a few tangents here. Which is, don't worry, it's still related somehow. So, as I was mentioning at the beginning of this episode, right, there has been some big news in the shogi world recently, where one of the young prodigies of the current shogi world has managed to qualify himself to a title match. So the person in question is the professional shogi player Fuji Sota, who is 7th dan in the current Shogi Professional Association. He is the youngest ever to become a professional, I think at 14 years of age or something like that, and he's the 5th junior high student to become a Shogi Pro. He actually holds the record for the most consecutive professional games won, which, by the way, he managed to get right after he became pro. So after he became pro, he won 29 consecutive times in a row before, and became the new record holder here. And the reason why I'm mentioning him right now, and the reason why he's making headlines, is because he is now also the youngest ever to become a title challenger. The title he is currently going for is one of the 8 titles, or I guess there's 7 in shogi. There's actually the 7 more traditional titles, and then 1 more that was created recently. So there's actually a total of 8 now, whereas in Sangatsu they're still going on with the old 7. But in any case, so the title that he's going for is the Kisen, which means the saint, or the saint of shogi, right? Which I actually got kind of confused with the Kisho that Shimada and Toku are fighting for in this episode, right? That is Kisho, that is more artisan, of shogi, if you will. But I do think it's a parody of the actual real title, which is the Kisen. So, in any case, he became the youngest ever to become a title challenger at 17 years of age, and, well, and some change anyways, but I'm not going to go into too much specifics about that. And who knows, if he does actually win it, he might become the youngest person. He might also hold the record for the youngest person ever to hold a title, and chances are good because he's actually won the first battle already, and it's a best out of 5 here. What else? And I think it bears mentioning as well, actually, that his opponent right now, Watanabe Akira, is actually also a child prodigy himself. He was the 4th junior high student to become pro, and he's actually a current holder of 3 different titles as well. So no slouch either on his end, and yet this fascinating newcomer is just like coming up and then, you know, making all the news, making all the waves, stirring up a storm, if you will, to put it back into the perspective of this episode's title. But anyways, you know, it's exciting and whatnot, and indeed people are always going to be drawn towards these child prodigies, right? It's the same in all aspects of life. I think I mentioned this before in the past episodes as well. It's literally in any kind of profession or any kind of especially in this case, more I guess artistical kind of things, if you consider shogi or chess and the likes to be more of an art form rather than say, for instance, a particular skill, right? We always look towards those child prodigies, even in music as well, in chess, in shogi, etc., etc. It's what gets people excited. So, you know, it's hard to say anything about this because that's just the entertainment that people want. But anyways, I just felt that it was kind of apt to mention that at this point, since this is a anime talking about shogi and talking about child prodigies, and in real life we have the exact same situation here as well. Although the current title holder Watanabe Akira is definitely not as I don't think he is as accomplished as this fictional Souya character. Right, I mean, he's definitely very accomplished, don't get me wrong. I think he's like the number 8th all-time in terms of how many titles he's held before, but definitely still a ways to go before he gets to the really top of the top in terms of all-time history, right? But anyways, I just thought it was kind of a fun tangent and fun tidbit of information to share with you guys. The second tangent I'm going to go on is, again, going towards this sort of conflict that we see in the beginning of this episode, right? You know, you got these well-established old guys, the old guard, if you will, duking it out and in a very professional way. Well, I guess in this episode they sort of implied that the level of their playing wasn't particularly good, but let's pretend, for instance, they were, right? I mean, they are professionals after all, and they do have their pride on the line, so you would think that it would be a very high quality match. I mean, I guess it's part of the gag, if you will, but I don't really think that's too realistic, considering that they all worked their way up there, defeating all the different people to actually get into a title match, right? So we have that kind of situation, and then we have this commemorative match between, sure, a current title holder, and yet his opponent Ray is actually just an up and comer who's really won nothing except for this newcomer king title, right? But once again, you know, this is what drives people's attention. It's what gets the sponsors and whatnot. It's what people want to watch. This sort of entertainment factor, and I sort of draw a parallel to that with something that's happening in the chess world. Not shogi right now. I'm talking about chess here. Which again, so recently, I guess in the past month or so, due to the whole corona situation and whatnot, more and more of these, well, I guess that isn't really true. So coinciding with the corona situation, people are getting involved into chess again since they can't go out, so they want to turn into these sort of games that they can play indoors. Online chess is a big thing, etc., etc. And one of the big things that's happening nowadays is some very famous, like, I guess I can just say one of the most famous YouTuber / Twitch chess players, Hikaru Nakamura, who even though he has a Japanese name, is actually American. He decided to go around and collaborate with lots of different YouTubers, lots of gamers, I guess you could say, mostly from various other games like Overwatch or League of Legends or whatnot. Mostly retired, but maybe professional at one point, and then teach them in chess and whatnot. And it's really bringing the sort of online community, particularly the Twitch community, the YouTube community, into this whole thing, right? And in fact, it culminated in an event that came up these past few weeks called PogChamps, a PogChamps chess championship, which is actually pitting a lot of these, these are definitely not professional chess players in any way. Like I said, they come from esports, different gaming backgrounds, and they're all gathering together to play chess. And the funny thing here is that even though, most of them are really not that good at all, definitely nowhere near professional level, they are actually attracting a much bigger crowd than the likes of even when the world champion himself is playing in a match, right? Because, well, people just want this entertainment factor. They want to support their favorite personalities, and so on and so forth. So, I guess it's just a sort of, I just find it funny that it drives so many parallels to things that are happening in real life right now that I'm actually familiar with, and, it's sort of like the sad situation, right? But what can you do about it? People desire entertainment. At the end of the day, why do people watch shogi matches, right? Especially if you aren't, or chess matches, especially if you aren't going to be that good of a player in the first place. Why do people watch streamers, especially streamers who are non-pro gamers? You would think that only pro gamers would be watched because they are the ones who are best at it. But no, people want to watch these because they want to be entertained, and personalities is a huge driver of that sort of entertainment here. So, I guess it's just the fact of the situation that we have to live here, that it doesn't that having the best talent doesn't necessarily mean you will get the most viewers or you will get the most success out of it. But in any case, like I said, that was a tangent. Sorry, but not too much to talk about for this episode. But I am glad that we're getting back to shogi aspects of the stuff. And hopefully the next few episodes we will learn more about Souya, and maybe also have more sort of a transformation from Rei as well, as he better and better understands what exactly is expected of him and how he needs to progress further in his career. Anyways, that's it, folks. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Until then, bye-bye.